They kept you in the dark on purpose. Now everything is clear. It never felt right, even in the beginning. There were too many moments where things did not add up, but you kept giving them time to explain. You asked simple questions, yet answers were always incomplete or redirected. It was not that you lacked understanding. It was that you were not being given the full time. You stayed patient because you believed honesty would eventually come, but instead, the same pattern kept repeating in different ways. They were not focused about what they were doing. They were selective. They choose what to share and what to hold back. And that choice created the gap you kept trying to fill. You were walking with pieces, while they had the full picture. That imbalance made you feel unsure, and that uncertainty kept you engaged. As long as you did not know anything, you stayed in a position where you were trying to understand instead of deciding what to do. You started noticing how certain topics were avoided. Conversations were shifted when things became too direct. Questions were answered with vague statements that sounded complete but left you with more doubt. It created a cycle where you kept thinking you were close to understanding, but you were not fully there. That is how being kept in the dark works. It does not block everything. It allows just enough light to keep you searching. Then something changed in you. You became quieter, not out of confusion, but out of awareness. You stopped pushing for answers and started observing what was already happening without constant questioning. Without constant questioning, the pattern became easier to see. Their actions began to speak more directly than their words ever did. You saw how information was controlled, how clarity was delayed, and how the same behavior kept returning. That is when everything became clear. The confusion was never yours to begin with. It was created through what was not being said. Once you understood that, your need for answers faded. You no longer needed them to explain what you had already seen through their actions. That shift changed how you responded and how you carried yourself around them. Now there is distance where there used to be effort. You are no longer trying to piece things together. You are no longer waiting for clarity from someone who choose not to give it. You already have what you need. That clarity did not come from them. It came from stepping back and allowing yourself to see the situation without distraction. They can sense that change. They can tell that you are not reacting the same way or asking the same question. What once felt manageable for them now feels uncertain. The control they had came from what you did not know, and now that you see clarity, that control is no longer there. They kept you in the dark on purpose, but that only worked for a time. Once you stepped back and paid attention, everything revealed itself. And now that you see it for what it is, you cannot return to what it was before.